Hey everyone, welcome back to the Library of Parthos. My name is Sarah, and today we are going through my super ambitious January TBR. I have quite a few books on this list that I would love to read for this month. A lot of them are just kind of setting the cozy winter vibe that I am really looking for. I have a couple of new releases to highlight and then some books that I just need to get caught up on myself. So it is an ambitious list, but I'm going to do my best to get through it. January is a pretty chill month for me. Honestly, I don't think I have any weekend plans for I honestly can't think of the next weekend that I have a commitment. So I really do have a lot more time to read in the winter. In the fall, pretty much from like late August, mid-August, late August to December, it's like every single weekend is just packed full of something. Whether that's fall festivals, other events, football games, holidays, travel, there's just something all the time. And so I really don't have a lot of downtime to just sit down and get caught up on reading. So in the winter, it's the opposite. I have very little going on, especially on the weekends and in the evenings. So I get a lot more reading done. So my goal is to kind of get quite a bit knocked out this month and next month so that I'm in a good place for the spring. So let's go ahead and talk through everything that I'm hoping to get done this month. Okay, I'm gonna start off with a couple of advanced reader copies that I have available through NetGalley. There are a couple of books that are coming out within the next week to 2 weeks, so I'm going to do my best to get through those either very shortly before their release date or very close to their release date. The first book, which I believe comes out on January 7th, is The Immortal by Sue Lynn Tan. This is an author that I'm familiar with, but I haven't really read any of her stuff, so I was super excited to have this as an advanced copy. So the plot of this book is basically that a young ruler must forge a delicate alliance with the untrustworthy yet magnetic god of war to protect her kingdom in this stunning romantic fantasy filled with dangerous secrets, forbidden magic, and passion. So this is the author of Daughter of the Moon Goddess. I believe I have a copy. I haven't read it yet, but it's one that I've been wanting to check out, and I feel like I do a little bit better if there is some pressure involved. So this one I do feel like I have to get it done in a decent time period because it is being released on January 7th. So I'm hoping that that'll encourage me to get through it, and then I can at least try out this author's writing style and then go back and pick up her other works if I really enjoy them. And the other new release that's coming out this month is Only New Dreams by Ellie K. Wilde. As you may or may not be aware, I'm a huge fan of sports romance, football romance in particular. I just love football, period. So this book is a small town romance, brother's best friend, sports romance packed with sizzling tension, heat, and sweet swoon-worthy moments. So honestly, in terms of sports romance, I'm not super picky. I'll pick up pretty much anything and try it. Whether it sticks and it makes an impression is another story, but I will at least give this one a go and let you know my thoughts for sure. Another book not on NetGalley, this is just a new release that's coming to Kindle Unlimited, is From Now On by C.W. Farnsworth. This is one of my favorite authors in terms of like sports romance. The pining, the relationships are really well written and I really enjoy them. So this is the third book in a series. I guess series, it's in the same world, about these hockey players at Holt University. So this will be the third of this like friend group that I've been reading about. I'm just starting the second one right now. First one, great, everything that I wanted it to be. And the second one is I think it's going to be just as good. I'm hoping that it is. So I'm excited to read the third one. And what I like about these books is the first one took place in like the first semester. The second one picked up right where the first one ended. And so I'm curious, because I haven't finished the second one yet, if it's going to end with them graduating as seniors or if it's going to end like halfway through that semester and then pick up and end with the end of their senior year, or how that's going to play out. But that comes out, I believe, January 21st. So if you're interested, you can get the first two books on Kindle Unlimited for free and get caught up before that new one is released. Getting into my physical TBR, that was quite a few books on just, that was quite a few ebooks, but I do have quite a few physical books as well. So starting with the one that I think is the most important that I get through, and that is Iron Flame by Rebecca Yarros. This is the second book in the Fourth Wing series. I did finally get around to reading Fourth Wing, absolutely loved it. I have a review that I can link if anybody is interested or anyone needs a recap if they are starting Iron Flame like me. But another book that I'm in a bit of a time crunch for because the third book, Onyx Storm, is coming out this month, so I am running out of time to get this big monster finished. And as you can see, I have started it, but got distracted with all of the Christmas preparations and just never got around to finishing it. So this will be, I think, priority number one to finish this book this month, and also to read Onyx Storm when it comes out. I am honestly planning on just shutting myself away in a room when it gets here and just powering through as much as I can. So looking forward to wrapping up this series. Speaking of wrapping up a series, I am still working my way through The Whispering Night by Susan Dennard. This is the third book in the Luminaries series. First book, absolutely loved it. Second book was great. I waited for it for so long. It felt so long. It really wasn't that long, but I felt like I was waiting so long, and I thought it was the end, and then I found out it wasn't. So this is the third book. This should be the end. Again, I've started it, got distracted with Christmas preparations, and so I am getting back to it, and I'm going to finish this book, and we'll share all of my thoughts because I absolutely love these characters, and I don't want it to end, but I'm hoping that it'll be an ending that I'm satisfied with. Next up is, and I guess the last three books that I have on my physical book list are just setting the vibe. They just feel like winter books, and so I'm reading them in the winter. The first one is The Snow Child by Eowyn Ivey. I'll go ahead and read the back of the book. So as you can see, this was just a book that I found on sale. I was attracted by the cover, the title, the premise. So it says, Alaska in 1920, a brutal place to homestead and especially tough for recent arrivals Jack and Mabel. Childless, they are drifting apart, he struggling to maintain the farm, she crumbling from loneliness and despair. In a moment of levity during the season's first snowfall, they build a child out of snow. The next morning, the snow child is gone, but they glimpse a young girl running through the trees. This little girl, who calls herself Faina, seems to be a child of the woods. She hunts with a red fox at her side and somehow survives alone in the Alaskan wilderness. As Jack and Mabel come to understand this child, who could have stepped from the pages of a fairy tale, they begin to love her as their own daughter. But in this beautiful, violent territory, things are rarely as they appear, and what they eventually learn about Faina will transform them all. So just based on the premise, I mean, I'm assuming that there's more to this story than just a snowman coming to life. Like, I don't think it's a Frosty situation. The premise of this book does remind me a lot of The Stolen Heir by Holly Black. That is kind of the origin of one of the characters. There's a little more magic to it, of course, because in Elfhame there's a lot of magic happening, but it's kind of the same idea, and so I think that's kind of what intrigued me to get this book. But it sounds like a really interesting story, and I look forward to getting to know these characters a little bit more and getting lost in this world. And again, just perfect for this time of year, so I'm excited to stare at all the snow outside and read this and be warm and cozy inside. Another book that, for whatever reason, just feels like a winter book to me is The Ones We're Meant to Find by Joan He. This is one of the first books I got in, I think, Owlcrate, maybe Illumicrate. Owlcrate, yep. I still have the little author's note in here. And for whatever reason, I've just kind of been putting it off, and it seems like a good time to read it now. So I'm gonna try to get through it. So the synopsis of this is, it's been 3 years and 17 days since C woke up on the shore of an abandoned island. She has no idea how she came to be marooned or what her life was like before. She has only the rickety house by the sea, the android she built for company, and a single memory. Somewhere beyond the horizon, she has a sister, and it's up to C to escape the island and find her. A world away, 16-year-old STEM prodigy Casey is also looking to escape from the science she once believed in and from her home. The eco-cities, Earth's last unpolluted habitats, are meant to be a sanctuary for those from deserving lineages, for those committed to planetary protection. But instead, they're populated by people willing to do anything for refuge, even lie. After a series of man-made disasters rock the planet, Casey must decide if she's ready to use science to help humanity, even though it failed the people who mattered most to her. So nothing really wintry about this book. I think I'm just kind of in a mood for some science fiction, especially related to the environment, and I think that this really just kind of fit that mood. And so I think I was waiting for a winter when everything lined up and it has, and so this is one that I'm adding to my list. Another book that doesn't have any sort of winter vibes, but it is a book club book that I need to read, and that is The Martian by Andy Weir. So this came about for Christmas. I wanted to do a really cozy Christmas Eve with hubby. I wanted to get him books and puzzles and games and Legos that we could just have a really nice, fun, relaxing day together, and I couldn't decide what books to get him. And so I used ChatGPT, my best friend, to help me out, and I narrowed it down to 4 books. The Martian, Project Hail Mary by the same author, Dark Matter, and The Neuromancer. And so I got him all 4 because I couldn't decide. He immediately read Project Hail Mary, loved it. Read Dark Matter, loved it. Neuromancer is a little bit of a slower start. Just he's not a huge fan of the writing style, so that one might be a DNF, it might not. And then The Martian, kind of thought like maybe we'll just watch the movie, but he had kind of reached out to some friends and asked if they were interested in reading a book all together, and they picked The Martian. So we are all reading The Martian together now. By the end of January, we need to have finished the book, and then I think we'll get together and watch the movie. So not really one that I picked, but I'm excited to have a group to read the book with. So the premise of this: 6 days ago, astronaut Mark Watney became one of the first people to walk on Mars. Now he's sure he'll be the first person to die there. After a dust storm forces his crew to evacuate the planet while thinking him dead, Mark finds himself stranded on Mars' surface with no way to signal Earth that he's alive. And even if he could get word out, his supplies would be gone years before a rescue would arrive. Chances are, though, Mark won't have time to starve to death. The damaged machinery, unforgiving environment, or plain old human error are much more likely to kill him first. Armed with nothing but his ingenuity, his engineering skills, and a gallows sense of humor that proves to be his greatest source of strength, Mark embarks on a dogged quest to stay alive, but will his resourcefulness be enough to overcome the impossible odds against him? So that is the topic of our book club. I think when I'm finished, I'll make a video of the book and the movie and kind of comparing which one I found to be better. So more to come from The Martian. Last on my physical TBR for the month of January, and this one is purely vibes, and this is An Omen of Ice by Jez Sicardo. This is one that I have specifically been saving for winter, and I forget about it every time, but I am getting to it now. This is a fantasy book, fae, all of it. It's got everything. So, I mean, need I say more? So the plot of this one, let me just read the summary to you real quick. Keltania Toon has spent her whole life training to become a bodyguard for a winter fae. It's the highest of honors for a druid. Only when Tanya arrives at the winter court for the first time, nothing is what she expected. Her assignment is the heir to the throne, Valen, and he doesn't want her protection. In fact, he wants her gone. Yesterday. But Tanya will not compromise, even if he's the most arrogant person she's ever met, because something isn't right in the winter court. Everyone has secrets, from the Winter Lord to the kitchen maids to the rising faction that wants the prince dead. No one is who they seem, and now it's up to Tanya to keep her sacred oath and protect Valen, even when his smart mouth makes her skate the razor-thin edge between love and hate. But the more she gets to know him, the more she realizes his secret is the biggest of all and might just get them both killed. So, I mean, typical fantasy, typical fae, everything that I love in a book, and it's about winter. So perfect, perfect, perfect. Can't wait to read this one. This stack of books, I don't really have a particular order that I want to get them done in. Obviously, there are some time constraints that I mentioned before, so I'm hoping that I can get them done in a timely manner, but I'll just kind of read based on what my mood is and get as far as I can through that list. So that's everything that I'm planning to read this January. Please share what you're planning to read. I'd love some additional recommendations, some of your favorite cozy reads. Maybe I can add those to my list for next year. But that is the end of this video. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys soon. Bye.